Go.
Melissa Prince here, my outline and my index cards. I'm about to do my introductory speech. Talk to you soon. Hello. What you are and who you are should provide greater clarity about where you have been and where you are going. Who are you today? Who were you in the past? Today, we are all who we are because of our past. Everyone has a past, regardless if that past is good or bad. It inevitably makes us who we are today. Because of my past, I've had to find the good in every situation. I love to laugh, I love to joke, I love to smile, and I love to play. Today, I will introduce you to who I was as a child, who I became as a young adult, and who I am today. When I was a child, I was like every child out there, vibrant, inquisitive, loving to play. I loved to play out in the yard, out in the streets, until the streetlights came on, that is. And I always had a smile. I loved to play in our yard. I loved to play in our family swimming pool. And I loved to play with my dog Cringer. At the age of 5, my father got sick. Alpha-1, or alpha antitrypsin deficiency. It's an inherited disorder that causes lung disease between the ages of 20 and 50. We spent 2 years in and out of the hospital. The doctors knew me by name. Melissa, stop playing in the halls, they would say. During these 2 years, my father made sure that he was very open and honest about the process of him dying, from the beginning to the end. But during those 2 years, he would always make sure that I was smiling and laughing and playing. During that time, it was my age, I didn't know any better. I would laugh and play and smile right along with him. At the age of 7, my father passed away at 35. I became the child with no father. Jokes from other kids started coming in about us being too poor to afford medicine for my father to live. But you know what? I never let it get me down. I smiled, and I still played, just like my father taught me to. By that time, I had already joined the neighborhood cheerleading squad, East Glen Burning Warriors. After my dad had died, my mother made sure to come to all of my practices, all of my games, and she even coached a few seasons, and she put me in gymnastics to keep me busy. I was no longer the child without a father. I was the smiling cheerleaders the neighborhood saw coming. I would cheer and smile and do gymnastics up and down my roads, in my yard, all the way through high school. My mother had remarried by this time to my stepfather, and my stepfather and I did not have the best of relationships. After my first year in college, because of that, I decided to move in with my brother in West Virginia. Well, when you have bills from a big city like Baltimore and you move to a small city like Elkins, it's not the best idea. But I still go back and I visit, and we play on four-wheelers, and we fish, and we have a good time with the kids. By this time, I had already dated my future husband a few times, so we decided we were going to move in together, and we moved to Florida, where we moved into our first apartment. 6 months later, we bought our first house, and I became a homeowner. 6 months after that, we decided to get married, and I became a wife. We had a beautiful wedding here in Maryland, and went back to Florida, where his job moved us around a bunch. We moved to Louisiana for about a year, and then we moved back to Florida. At this time, his company went out of business. But during this time, I had my daughter Savannah in Louisiana, and when we moved back to Florida, I had my son James. Also during this time, my marriage became rocky. Alcoholism played a huge part in that. But even during this time, with my children, I decided I wasn't going to let it get to them. And I wanted to make sure that they knew that we were going to get through this. So we laughed and we played and we joked. Due mostly in part to my husband's alcoholism, we ended up separating, and we are now going to get a divorce. Which brings me to who I am today. I work a full-time job, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, as an office manager for Boar's Head. I'm a part-time college student. I decided to go back to school so that I could try to make a better future for my children and I. I am also a coach. I coach my daughter's cheerleading squad. We laugh, we play, I get to cheer and do gymnastics with the kids. Well, some gymnastics. I'm not as flexible as I used to be. But mostly, I'm a mother to these two beautiful, young, inquisitive children, like myself when I was their age. As you heard, I was a playful child, a child without a father, a cheerleader, a college student with an evil stepfather, a new homeowner, and a wife. I am a full-time worker, a part-time college student, a coach, and a mother who you will find playing with their children at any given time. In the words of the great children's author, Dr. Seuss, today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who are youer than you.